Hi, Sue Jackson here of the Live with CFS blog. I've realized this morning that it's been a really long time since I've done an update on my chronic illness or a chronic illness vlog here on my channel. I've been posting some updates on my blog, but I think the last chronic illness vlog I've done on my channel was probably back in July when I got COVID. And while things got better for a while, I am currently in a really bad crash. This is the 4th week now, and I don't know why, which makes me crazy. I like data, I like logic, I like things to make sense. And so often with this disease, nothing makes sense, and that's where I am right now. So I just thought I'd give you a little update, bring you along with me on this week. I am hoping by the end of the week I'm feeling a little better, but I don't know. I was doing really well at the beginning of the year, first 6 months, best I'd been in several years. I still, as I was explaining to my primary care physician yesterday, clearly I still had ME/CFS. I still couldn't get through the day without a nap, but I had several good hours a day. I was able to get some work done. I was able to see friends. I was able to take walks. And I didn't have even one single crash day the entire first 6 months of the year. It's stunning, right? And then early July, I got COVID. I got right on Paxlovid, which definitely helped. Highly recommend that, especially if you have any kind of immune disorder like ME/CFS or any other kind. Made a big difference. The first time I got COVID in January 2021 at my father-in-law's nursing home, where they had had a big outbreak, and we were still wearing cloth masks at that time. So yeah, all of us caught it. Well, everyone except my husband. He somehow escaped it, but my son and I both caught it from visiting. So anyway, it took me 6 months to crawl back to my baseline. And there were a lot of desperate phone calls and emails to my doctors during that time. You know, it took a while and it was a struggle. This time, I would say within 3 months, I was almost back to my pre-COVID baseline, pretty close. By the end of September, I was feeling a lot better. My husband and I were able to start taking camping trips again. I was even able to start walking again. On our trip, we took like a 9-day trip at the end of September to make up for the vacation we had to cancel this summer. And I'll link to that so you can see. It was a beautiful trip. We took the camper to 2 state parks in New York State, and I was able to do a 1.3-mile walk, which is like, usually 1 mile is my outer limit when I'm doing really well. Now this was entirely flat. It was around a very small lake, but but I managed that and I didn't crash the next day. So I was doing good, feeling good. And then toward the end of October, I just suddenly, the aches came back, the flu-like aches. This is kind of, in the early days of my ME/CFS, my crash sign was a sore throat. I don't get the sore throats very often anymore. Now it's more flu-like aches, but it's the same thing. It's a symptom of immune activation. It's a sign that my immune system is overreacting to something. So I've had flu-like aches every day for the last month. It's been really awful. I've been right here lying on the couch with my Snoopy blanket almost every single day. If I do venture out, I usually end up worse the next day. So yeah, that's been almost a month now. Now, we did manage a short camping trip. I'm going to post the the video, the vlog of that camping trip later today, because that's almost edited now. I've had to do it a little piece at a time. But, yeah, but that was a very chill trip. My husband did all the work. I wasn't able to hike at all. Like, even when I say hike, I mean, like, typically we'd look for like a half mile or 3/4 of a mile on flat ground that we could do. Couldn't even do that. Just spent a lot of time in my lounge chair reading. So I'll link to that as well so you can see that. So when I had a similar downturn like this last fall, it turned out to be yeast overgrowth, which is a chronic problem for me and for many people with ME/CFS. Our immune systems just don't keep it in check. Everyone has candida in their digestive tract. With normal people, your immune system keeps it managed and under control so it doesn't cause problems. But with us, it very easily overgrows, so there's too much of it. I can see thrush in my mouth when that happens, but also I get these flu-like aches. It just makes me feel awful, exhausted. I had so much trouble getting up this morning. So, I'm going on the theory that that's what's happening again. I did see my primary care physician yesterday, and she prescribed, I take prescription antifungals every single day, usually fluconazole, diflucan. But given what's going on, and I stick to a very strict diet, and I talked about that at the beginning of the year, so I'll link to that video as well. So what I've done is, starting last Friday, today's Tuesday, I went back to the stricter diet. Now, my diet hadn't loosened up that much. I'm still eating mostly meat, fish, poultry, eggs, with small amounts of vegetables. But the amounts of vegetables I was eating had increased. It's fall. I had cheated a little bit with half an apple once in a while. God, it's so hard to go through fall and not have apples and pears. We did cook squash a couple of nights. Yeah, so I have gotten a little more into higher carbs. Just some gradual drift. I mean, when your cheat is a half an apple, that's pretty sad, right? But so I'm back on, as I explained in that earlier diet video, 97% carnivore. Mostly meat, fish, and eggs. I'm intolerant to dairy, unfortunately, with just a few bites of cruciferous vegetables with lunch and dinner, because I found that combats the terrible dry mouth that I got when I was full carnivore. So I've been doing that for about Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. This is the 5th day of stricter diet. No nuts, which I love. The thing is, based on previous experience, like last fall, I should be feeling better by now, and I'm not. I'm feeling, if anything, maybe worse. So, so my doctor yesterday prescribed a stronger antifungal for the next month or two. We'll see how it goes. And again, this is something that's worked in the past for me. It's ketoconazole. You're not supposed to stay on that one long term because it does have a black box warning. It can be toxic long term, but all my blood work looks fine, and she always keeps an eye on like liver enzymes and things like that. So, and we know from past experience that, taking it for a month or so is usually fine for me. So I am hoping this does the trick. I just switched to that last night. And like I said, this morning I'm, if anything, worse. Thankfully, after my doctor's appointment yesterday, I was like shaking and in tears by the time I left. Well, the tears were for two reasons. I was exhausted, and I had had to wait almost an hour there. There was other stuff going on in the office that tied my doctor up. But also, she's retiring at the end of January. If you've read my book or my blog, I have often mentioned how this doctor, it's not an exaggeration to say she's saved my life many times. When I first got sick, I spent a year seeing doctors. Not one of them could tell me what was wrong. Finally found her. We needed a new primary care physician. She was accepting new patients and was 5 minutes away. That was like the whole criteria. And my very first visit with me, she said, she listened, first of all. She looked at my data and my charts and my graphs and all of my blood test results, of which there had been hundreds that past year. And in that first meeting, she said, I'm pretty sure you have an immune disorder called chronic fatigue syndrome, because I've got other patients with it. That changed my life. And I went home and read more about it because I thought that's not a real thing. The horrible name strikes again. Even when you have it, you don't believe it because that's a stupid name. But I went back for my second visit, and I said, this does sound like exactly what I have. It's the first thing in a year of searching that actually perfectly matches my symptoms. And she said, great, are you ready to try some treatments? And I didn't know then, but I know now how rare that is. And I was telling her this yesterday. I said, even today, 22 years later, most people, if they're fortunate enough to get an accurate diagnosis, are told by their doctor, there are no treatments, you have to live with it. She said, I'm not saying goodbye because I'm too close to tears. And I felt the same way. So she said, we'll have one more video meeting to see how I'm doing at the end of January. And she still doesn't know what to do with me. I'm on a short list of patients that there is no one she can think of to pass me on to because, as all of you know, there are so few doctors that really understand ME/CFS, let alone know how to treat it. And at a minimum, I need a doctor who can, minimum, keep up the prescriptions that I'm on now that normally, this is an anomaly this month, but normally they're what allow me to function. So that's where I am. Struggled to get up this morning, just racked with aches. In fact, I got up, took my medications, and then turned the TV off because I usually put the Today Show on in the morning, and laid back down and stayed in bed for another half hour, 40 minutes, but I don't think I really slept. Eating breakfast did help, but my husband's out golfing, so I had to cook my own breakfast this morning. So I did that with the help of a kitchen stool. Yeah, so that's what's going on. This clip was long, but the rest will be short this week just to keep you up to date. But I would love to hear how you're doing. When you're done watching this video, please leave a comment and let me know what's going on in your life. So I just got up from my nap. Took an earlier nap because, ta-da! The sun is still out. I've got maybe about 45 minutes before it slips behind the trees out there. So I'm gonna go out to my lounge chair on the deck. I'm gonna have to bundle up. It's a lot colder today, but that's my plan. And I napped better today. I have not been napping well. I think it's anxiety. I get, there's a lot going on in our country this week, but also with me personally, and I think my brain just gets spinning and I can't sleep. But I think I actually slept today, so I'm feeling a little bit better. I also finished my wonderful book about the national parks. Loved this book. It's interesting, fascinating, but it's also got a great sense of humor. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. And looking forward to my next book. So I'm gonna head outside. First, everything with me takes a long time. First, it's medication time. The purple one is after nap. And all the bottles on the table are the extra stuff that doesn't even fit in the boxes. These 3 are extra antivirals, just in case this flare-up is due to being exposed to some kind of virus, like a cold. Those help me a lot when that happens, so I've been doubling up on those. And yeah, my new antifungals, but okay, I'm gonna take these now. So here I am in my happy place, lying in my lounge chair out on our deck. There's only like 25 minutes left of the sun now. I'm like counting down, it's crazy. I don't love this time of year. It just gets dark so early. And as always, my nap is disrupting my life, but it's necessary. Yeah, this time of year I've kind of become a sun worshiper. Not in the traditional sense of tanning. My dad died of melanoma, so that's definitely been off the table for a long time. But just feeling that sun, the lift it provides my spirits. I've often written about the power of nature in our health, and yeah, if you haven't heard that before, science bears it out that time spent in nature improves not just your emotional well-being and your mental health, but your actual physical health. Scientists can measure the improvements in your immune system from time spent outdoors. So I love coming out here. No music, no podcasts, just the sounds of nature. Here, I'll show you. Well, aside from the smelly grill right in front of me. Yeah, we've got a bird feeder right here that we can see from the house. So I love to watch the birds come and go and listen to them. And right now you can see only not too many leaves left on our big tulip poplar tree, but there's a few left there. And we've got these big pines that are always there, thank goodness. And yes, a little bit of the sun left. And yeah, so I'm going to finish editing my my camping video, which will be more immersion in nature. And if you can't actually get outside, at least look out your window. And science even shows that watching videos of nature or looking at pictures online has these health improvements as well. So yeah, go outside if you can, lie down, look up at the sky, at least look out your window, open your window so you can hear the birds. Right now I also hear a lot of dogs barking, but and yeah, and if none of that works, tune into one of my camping vlogs and just enjoy the soothing images and sounds of nature that way. There were a bunch of birds at the feeder. Okay, there's some bird calls up there. And they seem to disappear when I turn the camera on. There we go. There's a little chickadee up in that tree. I highly recommend getting a bird feeder. It's really fun to watch all the birds and listen to all the different songs. Yes, you're not seeing things. I am out in the world today. It's Wednesday and I'm not back to 100%, but I'm much, much better than I was yesterday or the several days before that. So I am thinking that it was yeast, that the stronger antifungal is starting to kick in. I started taking it Monday night and, I woke up today feeling pretty good. So still some mild aches that kicked in around 11 a.m. And that's the pattern that I have when this happens, is that I'll wake up feeling okay. And then by around 11 a.m., I start to get achy. But I was able to sit up today, this morning, and do some work on my laptop, and I did come out. I made a quick stop to see my elderly book buddy. I had some books from the library for her, and I haven't felt well enough to visit her in a long time. So I didn't stay for long, but just long enough to have a little chat and drop the books off, and then I came over here to the library. I turned in a copy of my book and the forms that they require. I am hoping they will carry my book in our local libraries. This is something I should have done 4 years ago. I guess I just didn't realize they had a whole process for it. And also the 4 years have been pretty rocky for me. But yeah, I really don't have an excuse because I felt pretty decent the first 6 months of this year. Anyway, I just got the forms a couple weeks ago, so feel very good turning those in, and looking forward to hearing from them. And now time to go back home for lunch and a nap. Just got up from my nap and back outside on my spot. It's even a little cooler today, kind of low 50s. And yeah, I napped a little too late, so the sun's already behind the trees. But it still feels nice to be out here. Not hearing any birds right now, but they'll be around. It's just nice looking up at the sky and smelling the fresh air. So just gonna sit out here a little bit. It'll be dark very soon. So I might have stayed out here a little too long. It's pretty dark. I was on my laptop, so I had the light of that. But yeah, as you can see, it's pretty dark. I'm going inside now. Hi, Thursday morning. I'm not as good as I was yesterday, but still a lot better than I was before that. I just had so much energy yesterday. I mean, I still had mild aches, but the difference in how I felt was enormous. I felt like myself. And if you deal with chronic illness, you understand what I'm saying. It's the difference between feeling like I'm stuck on the couch and can't do anything and feeling like I've got not just physical energy, but mental energy. My brain's going, oh, I want to do this and I need to get that done. And yeah, it's such a difference. So I probably should have slept a little later this morning. I mean, it was 8:30 already, by the time I got up, which is late-ish for me normally. I usually get up a little before 8 when I'm feeling good. But I stayed up way too late reading last night. I had to finish this amazing graphic memoir, Sunshine. It's about, it's a follow-up to Hey Kiddo, which was also a graphic memoir. This one is about the author, in his senior year of high school, he spent a week working at a camp for kids with cancer, or kids with serious illnesses. Most of them did have cancer, and how it changed his life. And I just had to finish it last night. I was sobbing at one point, but overall, it's just such an uplifting, hopeful book. And yeah, so I did stay up a little too late. But I don't have to leave the house today. I don't really have anywhere to be. I plan to record a couple of short book videos, so I'm wearing a little bit of makeup, which is rare for me. And yeah, time to go have some breakfast. I've washed up and brushed my teeth and put all my many lotions and creams on. If you're an older woman, you understand. And yeah, and I did my little floor yoga routine, which helps so much in the morning to loosen me up and work out the aches from the night. And yeah, time for breakfast. And there's my typical weekday breakfast. 3 eggs. Today I've got bacon and Canadian bacon. Kind of doubled up. It's just what we got, the Canadian bacon fresh from a local farm. So yeah, since I've been eating this way, and obviously, as I've explained, I have to eat this way because of the yeast overgrowth. I don't have much choice in the matter. I am basically eating only what I can eat without making myself worse, which means very, very low carb. Carbs feed the yeast. So, yeah, so breakfast, there's no carbs at all. It's just meat and eggs. Lunch and dinner, I have small amounts of cruciferous vegetables. So I'm not like full-on carnivore as I was back in January when I first started this, but this is what's working for me now and what's helping me right now get back to feeling good and normally keep feeling good. Interestingly, my husband went along with me in January when I said I was going to start this. I'm not doing it for weight loss, but he lost 20 pounds in the first month of eating this way with, just reduced carbs, no sugar, no grains. We're both really missing fruit, but that would definitely feed yeast for me, and it does have a lot of sugar. So yeah, mostly meat, fish, eggs, poultry, seafood, as well as small amounts of certain vegetables, non-starchy vegetables. That's the way we've been eating. Interestingly, my blood work has never looked this good. I had the lowest cholesterol and triglycerides levels, and I've had it tested twice in the last few months. Yeah, my doctor was just stunned. Normally, my triglycerides are a bit high. Cholesterol is usually borderline high for me, like low 200s. And this time, cholesterol was 175. Triglycerides were like 77. They've never, ever been that low. So I know it doesn't make a lot of logical sense until you understand what's happening inside the body. But yeah, it's serving multiple purposes for me, so it's working out well. And what my husband likes about it is he says he's never hungry, because you can eat as much as you want, just as long as you're eating the right kind of stuff. Nap time. And I've realized part of the reason I'm not feeling as good today could very well be the weather. It looks bright out there. It's not. It is really gloomy, and it has been since this morning. It's cold and damp, and yeah, just gray. There's a front coming in tonight and a little bit of rain, so much as I hate to admit it, the weather does sometimes affect me, as my husband often points out. I mean, that's awful because we have no control over the weather, but could be a factor today. So I am definitely ready for my nap. It turns out that cool, damp, gray weather is perfect for napping. I had a really good nap. So don't feel so achy anymore. I wouldn't say I'm burning up with energy, but I feel okay. And I just remembered I have to take my car to the DMV tomorrow to get registered, which is like a 25-minute drive from here. So I'm hoping I can manage that. If not, my husband has said he would do it. And I have a much needed haircut tomorrow. This is getting, I know it probably doesn't look long, but it's curling all over the place. And yeah, that's what happens when you don't feel well for a month. You just put things off. So I thought I'd come outside and just do a little slow walk around our cul-de-sac. It's been a long time since I've done that. I've been spending my outdoor time lying on the deck, as you've seen. But yeah, no real desire to do that on a day like this. And the sun's already behind the trees, if you could see the sun at all today anyway. So yeah, just gonna do a very slow 10-minute walk. Friday morning, the week feels like it went by really fast. I am achy again, but I didn't start out that way. So yeah, it was, and this is kind of the pattern that I've had for the last month when it's not a really bad day, just kind of a semi-bad day, is that I wake up feeling okay. I actually showered and shaved my legs this morning, and but then around 10:30 to 11 is when I start to get achy. Now that may be just because I've been on my feet since I got up, showering, getting dressed, making breakfast, all of that. I don't know. I've often thought that that same daily pattern kind of points to something that involves hormones and the endocrine system, because yeah, that's usually where daily cycles come from, but I don't know. I'm definitely doing better than I was on Monday and Tuesday still. I'm up and dressed. I've got a haircut today, which I've been looking forward to. Yeah, you can see it's starting to curl over my ears, and back here it's curling up. So it is longer than I usually let it get, so this will be good. My amazing husband has taken my car to the DMV to inspect it and register it for me. Today's the last day, the deadline. Obviously, I just haven't been feeling well to make that trip. It's like a 25-minute drive from here. And then, you know, although we've got a new DMV and the inspection lines aren't that long anymore, but he offered to do that for me. He actually insisted on doing that for me. Yesterday when I was like, I might be able to make it down there and back in time for my haircut, he was like, no, you're not going. So I'm extremely grateful for him, not just for this, but for everything he does. I don't know what I'd do without him. So yeah, so I've got about an hour before I have to leave for my appointment. Gonna work on editing some more of my audiobook, making slow but sure progress, a little at a time. It's been taking a lot longer than I had hoped, but, you know, I'm getting there. I just can't do that much of it. It does kind of require sitting up, really focusing. I usually want to do it when the house is empty because I have to turn the volume way up and, you know, to really catch any, like, background noises. I'm trying to edit out mistakes or random sounds that I made that I didn't mean to make, things like that. So yeah, it helps when I'm alone and I can just turn the volume way up and really focus on it. So that's my plan for today. Okay, so that didn't go so well. Yeah, I was trying to at least finish editing one chapter of my audiobook, but the aches are much worse, so I moved over to my couch where I can be fully lying down. Yeah, just gonna, I guess, watch a couple of videos while I wait until it's time to go to my appointment. Saturday afternoon, I got up from my nap just in time to catch the last rays of sun before it dips down behind the trees. Still about the same. It was pretty achy again from like 11 to 1. I don't know why. It's been about like 5 days now on the stronger antifungal. I should be feeling better. It still looks to me like there's thrush on the back of my tongue, so I don't know. But we've got some friends coming over, bringing takeout for dinner, which is just wonderful. We haven't seen any friends in about a month. These are our oldest and closest friends, just really kind, wonderful people. They actually texted this morning to ask if we wanted to go out to dinner with them, and I explained, haven't been feeling well, and it's pretty risky for me to eat in a restaurant, especially on a Saturday night. And they're just so kind and understanding. They said, well, the important thing is just to get together and see each other. So yeah, we're lucky to have friends like that. So I want to get this vlog finished and uploaded. So I will just, I'll leave you. Our bird feeder is very active this afternoon. Has been all day for some reason. And I've noticed the cardinals have come back. So I will leave you with a little footage of the bird feeder. I hope that you've had a good week, better than mine. But please, let me know in the comments down below how you're doing, how things have been for you. Thanks.